Why are you knocking it? God. Yeah.
Yuck.
Yucky ducky.
The espresso ones are good though.
Espresso ones.
I'd probably eat that again.
Yeah?
Cheese, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Cheese.
Reminds me of Cheez-Its.
Try the espresso.
Okay, well this one looks nice. Nice wafer bar. Nice cubes. Ooh, the chocolate is
Well, they're
oozing
not
out the
technically
sides.
wafer bars. They just kind of look like those.
Well, I mean, it looks like someone took a wafer.
And they're cubes.
And just like chopped
It's 10
it up.
o'clock now.
Okay.
My 10 o'clock alarm went up. I'm also recording this whole time, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, welcome to Shenanigans
Oh,
Podcast.
we were just spending a immense amount of time talking about the wafers. You were spending a immense amount of time listening to wafer talk.
Wafer talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Love
That's a
wafers,
wafer to
even
start
though
this
these aren't
podcast.
really wafers.
That wafer was delicious, in case anyone was wondering.
It was
10 out of 10
cheese
recommend. I don't
flavored.
even know what it's called.
I didn't like it. Was not a fan. I like
What kind of
the espresso.
wafers again? You said Dolly got you guys something?
Yeah, he always gets us really cool treats when he goes. And
Mhm.
when he comes back. It's kind of a thing we do because I bring him baked goods
man.
that Christina does.
Fruits?
Yeah.
But you remember
Oh,
the
those
fruit
fruits! He bought us like these lychee fruits, and they look terrifying and
Lychee.
spiky. But he opened them up. I gave you one. Remember? They were like these jelly inside. It was like kind of like skinned grapes.
Skin grape.
Yeah.
It was so good though. Oh my goodness, it was the best fruit I've ever had.
Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
And then he got those like crab apple things.
Crab apple. All right. Well, anyways.
It's just some spooky fruit. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
I'm trying to figure. I don't remember eating it, but I remember eating you giving me something. I just don't remember eating it or what it tastes like.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Just remember tasting something.
It was so good.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, today's podcast, we're going to be talking about our experiences in university. Who would like to go first?
Let's go.
Who goes?
Oh.
Oh,
No.
it is me. Alrighty. So, I'm pretty sure I told you guys this. Or God, which one would you guys like to hear first?
Good,
Would you like to hear the husky story, or would you like to hear the where I had to walk a really, really long ways?
I
Husky.
like the husky story. Yeah.
Husky story.
Okay,
Alrighty.
we're in agreement.
Alrighty. So, in university, I was just chilling in my dorm room, and then someone calls me up and was like, "Hey, do you want to party with us?"
Oh, yeah.
And they're down in Vancouver, so I'm like, "I'm in Kamloops. How can we party with each other?" They're like, "Oh, just continue FaceTiming with us and just get absolutely trashed off of
I
Sam."
love that.
Yeah. Perfect.
I
This
was
is a
like-
great idea.
Okay.
Oh, God, so
I was like, I don't know, 19 at the time or something like that. So, yeah, I was like, fuck it, might as well. So I was just sitting there by myself in the dorm room drinking straight vodka.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Love it. I love doing that. That's the best.
Not chasing with anything, just
No,
straight vodka.
I'm pretty sure it was just straight, just me just sipping. Yeah.
Silent Sam, man, it just sneaks up.
Oh,
on
yeah,
you, and
I
all of a
felt-
sudden it's just
Was it Silent Sam?
It was Silent
Oh
Sam.
my god.
I felt like
And he
totally fine.
lived.
Oh,
Yeah, I drank like a good quarter bottle or something like that. Then I was like, oh, I don't have any smokes. Alrighty, I'll talk to you guys later. And then click, and I went down to the Husky gas station.
I would have just continued.
Yeah,
Continued
but I
the
wanted
FaceTime.
smokes.
Hey, I know
Oh,
that.
I mean,
creator.
I could have. Yeah, I guess I could have just continued it. Oh, well.
Oh well.
moving on.
Anyways, so I go down to the Husky gas station, which is like, I don't know, a quarter of a kilometer away. So that's like, like a fifth of a mile, maybe?
It's not a long walk.
No, it's like, if
Pretty
you
quick.
grabbed a ball, you could throw it like 3 times and you'd probably get there.
Yeah,
So it's like a reasonable distance,
Yeah.
like a block,
pretty close. Yeah,
2.5 blocks or something like that.
5-10 minute walk.
At least, yeah.
Somewhere around
So I go over, walk all the way down there, totally drunk. Well, I shouldn't say totally drunk. I was like
Silent Sam caught up to you.
pretty well, yeah. I was not stumbling, but I was definitely feeling it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I went down there and I'm almost to the Husky gas station, and all I hear is from behind me is like, dude, there's a deer behind you. And I'm like,
Huh?
just not paying attention at all.
Hello?
They say it like 4 more
Jesus.
times.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they yell at me 4 more times. Dude, there's a deer. I was like, all right, fine. Let's
All
check
right,
it.
let's see this.
Let's see what they're talking about. So I turn around. There's like a fucking 4-point buck behind me.
Oh my
Just
god.
like not even 10 yards away. And I was like, just kind of like did a small little wave towards it. It's like, hey.
Oh my god.
And then I just continued on and went and grabbed my smokes from Husky.
Jeez.
Then I walked all the way back. Yeah.
Without incidents.
So-
It was just James Potter in his Adam Age
Well,
form visiting you.
Yeah, because it was like super weird. Like, what?
Yeah.
man,
I
the
was like,
deer
wow.
in Kamloops, I almost got trampled by one coming back
Oh.
from class
Yeah.
because where the nursing building is, it's like right behind where you took your course.
Yeah. To
And-
become a meat cutter.
Yeah,
For
so
context,
they,
they
I,
both
we
went
got
to the same
to
university.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Both at
I
TAU.
got to use that nursing building for first time, and it was so close to my dorms. I remember everyone, I'd wake up like 5 minutes before the class started, and then like just walk down there.
Yeah.
And then everyone was always like, oh, that sucks. Like, I had to keep going all this way. Anyways, we were walking back after class one day, and they learned that they could park by my dorm rooms and, like, for a short period of time. And, they wouldn't have to pay for, like, the insane parking fee on campus. And we were both walking back in a group, and I was kind of walking a little bit behind the group because I'm an introvert. And all of a sudden this deer comes running, like I was just minding my own business. Deer comes running right in front of me. I actually had to jump back out of its way or I would have got trampled. And the group in front of me, because they saw it, the entire thing happened, they're like, oh my god. And I was like oh, okay. Jesus. Oh my goodness. This is
Deer's
embarrassing.
Just like, watch where I'm walking.
Yeah, those deer in Kamloops, man.
The
That's
audacity.
yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah. Like,
They'd be
God,
wild.
that'd be crazy, though.
That
Like,
would be, like,
I never had a deer, like,
Woke
just
me
come
up.
right up to me.
It happened to me once. I was out pine mushroom picking, and I was just kind of like watching my feet, and I just seen like these tufts of hair coming up and like some like scratch marks in the ground. I'm like, oh, this is like starting to look like something. I haven't even looked around at this point because I'm so fixated on looking at the ground, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden I just kind of like look up at some point because I see a hoof sticking out of the ground. I'm like, oh man, this isn't good. And I look straight up, and there's just a deer like 10 feet away from me, just staring at me in the middle of this old growth forest. I'm like, oof. Like, what do I do? Like, this is obviously, it's like dead baby in the ground in front of
Oh my
me.
God.
Something
Yeah.
has
Oh,
gotten it.
God.
And there's a deer in front of me. I'm like, is the deer going to get me before the bear does?
Yeah, like,
it
it's
turned
just
out
gonna
fine.
charge you.
I know, that's what I thought it was going to do. But no, it just kind of like skirted around me and like kept that exact same distance. And I was like, all right, we'll see you later. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting out of here right now because like you can never stick around when you see something like that.
Yeah. Well, definitely. And plus, like, any animal with a baby, it's just always super sketchy. No matter what size.
Yeah.
The larger, obviously more dangerous,
Of
but
course.
like,
But that's not to
Still.
say that like geese aren't dangerous. You know?
oh
what I
god,
mean?
geese are horrible. I don't like geese.
Exactly.
I don't like your geese.
The geese at your mom's terrorize me every single day.
Yeah, I'm just like staring at it, like, just stay over there.
They have it out
Steer
for me,
me,
but
okay.
in their defense, I did defend myself a couple of times, and they did not like that.
No, they don't like that.
Apparently, you're supposed to just take the bites and the abuse, and it's completely one-sided.
Yeah, it totally is. But
Yeah.
if you do the entire time, when they come up to you to like bite your legs, all you do is you grab them like over each of their wings and pick them up and then cuddle them.
No,
And then give them little scratches
but
on their neck
with
and like behind their
those
ears. And as soon as you
specific-
do that, they go submissive and they're just like, and they just like roll their head around. Look all
those
cute.
specific geese, your mom told me that they have amazing memory, and how they remember me is swinging. I didn't mean to hit them. I wasn't going to hit them, but
just
I
takes
was
one
just
time.
intimidating them to get away from me and my disabled corgi while he was using the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they did not like that. And ever since, every time they see me, it's like there's red in their eyes.
Man, they say
see red.
elephants don't forget, but I mean, they should really add geese that
Yeah,
list. They
gooses.
Gooses.
Yeah, gooses. Never
Gooses don't forget.
Represent gooses.
Those gooses.
Those
Yeah,
gooses.
my mom's got like an interesting. Oh wait, never mind. We're talking about geese. We are way off.
Way off topic.
Alrighty.
It's a fun university story. It's Elijah's
Alrighty.
turn.
Elijah's turn. What odd stuff happened to you
Oh,
in
geez.
college or university?
Oh, well, of course, nothing odd ever happened to
nothing?
me.
No?
No,
Nothing
what?
at all.
Crazy.
Wow.
Of course not. All right, I was lying. Gasp. I'll wait. Yeah, if you recovered? Yeah, okay, sounds good. Let's go. So I went to college in northern BC at the Northern Lights College. It was a great place. I had signed up to be social with my dorm mates, and there was it's a pad of 4 with a common cooking area and everything like that. So get there my first day, and I meet my roommates, and 2 of them seem pretty normal dudes to me. And I mean, the one feller comes in, and you can tell he's a certain kind of person with a really outgoing attitude, and just kind of on edge most of the time though, but like always busy.
Yeah.
And throughout the school year, I kind of figure out that no joke, I think this guy actually had like multiple different personalities.
Oh.
Like I'd catch him just like having like 3 or 4 different conversations with himself, like from like different people's like voices and like perspectives, and like if he didn't think I was around, he just had these full blown conversations, but like all the time. Not like you would have it like maybe like once like once a blue moon, or like maybe even once a month if you like to like play act things like
Yeah.
that. But
No, I do that a lot when I play the forest.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'd
that's
like have
fine.
this small
You're,
little
you're
like
engaging in
heads
something. You're
Oh,
not
yeah.
standing in a room with nothing on,
Just
just
by yourself.
Like I'd catch him staring at himself in the mirror in my dorm room,
Oh.
just
my
like
God.
standing there, just like and like doing like I don't know what pose it is, but he's just standing there like this, like you guys can see me, and just looking
Yeah.
at himself in my mirror like really intensely.
Yeah. Just kind of like a Superman pose?
Yeah, like
or
a Superman
what?
pose, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and just like flexing a little bit, and just staring at himself. Like I'd wake up in the middle of the night and he'd be in my dorm room staring at himself in my mirror, and like I only caught him a few times staring at me, and I was like, "Dude, you gotta get out of here! Like I'm trying to sleep here, man. Like this
Get
is
me out.
fucking weird."
Yeah.
Please don't kill me.
Like I
Just
come
go do
out,
this in your room.
all right. Like I
Do whatever you want in your room.
Come out of my dorm room one morning, and I was always running late. I've always run late. Anyway, so I come out of my dorm room a little bit late. I'm fully clothed, obviously. All I'm looking to do is put my shoes on at this point and hustle out the door and get to class in the morning. And, swing open my bedroom door, and there's Dante standing in, like, what's effectively our boot room.
Yeah.
It's just a little sliver of a hallway, but there he is. He's fucking, like, not naked necessarily, but in his snugs, and he's standing there, and he's just like we just kind of look at each other, and he starts putting on his clothes, and his dresser's out there. I realize at this point, I'm like, what the what is going on here? Something's not right.
Did he not
Dante,
have
what's
enough
going on?
room in his room?
And he's,
For the
wow,
dresser?
I know, right? And so he's just like, I'm like, what's going on here, Dante? And he's like, man, like I figured if I just like move my dresser out of my room, like have it here, I can get dressed. Like I can just wake up like 5 minutes before class starts, run into the boot room, get changed, put my shoes on, and then I'm out the door. I'm like, man,
Or
you could
is he genius?
I don't know.
I don't know, but like it was so weird because like we both went to class at the same time, right? School started at the same time all across campus, and so I'm like, there's no way I'm seeing this dude like chancing this dude like being like on edge as he was. Like I don't want to see anything other than that. Nope, good. I don't know. There was lots of weird stuff though, like if you like it wasn't just me though, like hearing him saying this stuff and like observing it. Like I was telling my friends Dylan and Casey about it once, and like at first they were like, there's no way, like
oh, you're just bullshit.
you're just fucking bullshitting us. Like there's no way that he's like this. And so I invite them over one night, and we're just sitting in my little bedroom, like it's a small little space, and we're just really quiet, and Dante was out in the common area, and then maybe like an hour or something goes by, and then all of a sudden he starts talking to himself. And then all of a sudden you hear it totally, like if I'm talking like this, it'd be like, whoa, hello there, and then and then just filters through. And they were kind of like familiar each time. Like I'd hear the voice he was acting and like, oh, it was like the same, you know, and like it was like very pronounced voices. Like either he practices this all the time, like maybe he's an amazing like actor, or he's completely nuts, and I have no idea. But anyway, so we sat there and they heard him talking to himself in this full blown conversation, and they were just so spooked. Like, I mean, Casey was. Dylan wasn't so much. I think it got him like scheming on this harebrained little scheme of his. So one night he breaks into my dorm room. Like he picks the locks, he gets in. Like he's just one of these people that's really handy with all sorts of tools and shit like that. Right? Like, just generally smart around that area.
I wish I could be a Dylan.
Oh, exactly right.
Everybody
like a mechanical,
wants to be a Dylan.
like just I don't know, it makes sense to him, right? Anyway, so he gets in there regardless, right? And so he pops into my room and he's like, what can I do to unnerve Elijah the most? Like what am I gonna do? And so he takes a pot and he goes around and he like cuts up one of my aloe vera plants, squirts some like sun I think it was sun blocker into this pot, like some water and like a sandal and some underwear and something else.
Just some random shit.
Just some like
I remember that
super random stuff, and he just leaves it right next to my bed and then takes off. And so the next like I wake up and I just see this in my room, and to this point my roommate hasn't done anything like that crosses this like particularly line that I have.
It's just mostly like, oh, that's kind of weird, but
it's always at a distance, so it's been like whatever.
It's not like has to do with you.
Exactly.
Like
it's
you catch him doing weird things.
Exactly, right? And now I've found something. Like he's done something in my room now. I'm like, oh no, this.
We were dating at the time, and I remember just waking up with like so many messages on my phone, and you send a picture, you're like, that's it, I'm finding new roommates, blah 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 blah, he's crazy.
I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man.
I was like, calm down.
Yeah. So I get to class and I'm like on edge, and I was like trying to talk me off the ledge here, and I get there and I'm obviously shooken up, and I only have 7 other classmates and our one instructor because it was a small class.
Yeah.
And they can see I'm visibly shook up, and they're like, oh man, like what's going on, EJ? Like normally you're like super chill and relaxed. And I was like, man, so I explained this entire happenstance to them, and then all of a sudden I just hear Dylan, because we're in the same classes.
Yeah.
I look at him, my whole class, we all look at him. I'm like, you son of a bitch. That was it.
You just everything just clicked
immediately. I did ask him like how did you get in, and he told me like it was like fuck all, it was easy. Like, God damn it, the security.
You
let him break into my room.
Yeah.
Dang it. I know there's only one security guard on. He was a really cool dude. Though I can't remember his name now. I think it might have been Steve.
Steve.
No, wait, Steve was he was the manager of the dorm room. Hopefully, maybe if Dylan or Casey listens to this at some point, they could drop it in the comments below.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
He was a cool dude though.
Yeah.
As long as we weren't drinking out in public or doing anything like too over the line, he was like, all right, you're good.
Be like, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
Or don't do that again.
Or don't do that. Yeah, exactly.
Be like, oh, okay.
He caught me playing piano at like 2 a.m. or something one time. He was like, he waited until I was done, and he was just like, wow, that was really nice. Like, where'd you learn how to play? I'm like, no one's never shown me. I just fucking around. He's like, holy shit. Like, wow, that's really great. Don't ever do this again, please. It's 2 a.m.
It's like, 2 a.m.
Like, wow, that's a really nice way of going about this.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I wasn't, drunk or high or nothing like that. So I was like, I'm going to go to bed and I won't do this again.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because, I wish more people were like that, because I imagine, like, a lot of people would have been like, what the fuck are you doing?
No, exactly.
Just get back to bed.
What are you doing? Oh my god.
Get the good jobs.
Man. Ooh, I started a chess club in college.
Oh, how did that go?
It went surprisingly well. For context, I played chess since I can remember, since I've had memories, essentially. Yeah. And so it's something I
don't curse this guy, by the way.
Hey, come on, I'm not that great. Anyways, so I get to college and I didn't have anybody to play with, so I was like, I had been talking to Casey, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, why don't you just start a chess club? Like, if you're really that passionate about it, just see if there's anybody else out there that like to play. And like, if you only end up with one person, then you're one the better.
You have one person to play chess with.
Exactly. And And so, anyways, so I put out all the flyers and I kind of thought it through. I had asked Casey to help me learn about emails more so that I would know where to look for my emails when they got sent to me.
Yeah.
So I'm 25, by the way. So this was not that long ago, and I apologize because I was not great at this.
I don't know,
I imagine
2016?
you're like 22? Or
Yeah,
when was it?
2016,
It
2015?
was 2016.
No,
2016.
2015.
Or 2015, 2016.
Yeah. Anyway, so it was in
Was it-
October.
God, fuck, we're
2015.
old. Yeah.
Hey,
Come on.
speak for yourself.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so she shows me the emails, and so I get it all out, and I'd set a date, and I'd booked a specific space for this, right? And I went out and I bought a whole bunch of chessboards at the local thrift store for $1 a piece because I was, broke as shit. I had to find a change in my
college
truck and
student
like the
life.
crevices, So, anyways, I got like freaking 30 people on my first day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
That's
like
a lot.
it was a lot of people.
Wow.
So I set up like 8 or 9 boards going at once, and I walked around, did commentary.
Wait,
on all
how'd
the
you get
different
all
games.
those boards if you're broke?
I spent like a couple of bucks on each one,
Oh,
so
right.
it wasn't
Yeah.
much at all.
Sorry.
And plus, the college also had, I think, 2 or 3, and then I brought in one of my own as well from home because,
Wow.
of course, I did.
Yeah, I mean, you technically need 15 if everyone actually showed up.
Yeah.
So,
So it went pretty good though. I mean, lots of people played, and I mean, I think we did like an hour or 2 that day, and then I think we were doing it bi-weekly or something like that. The next one I got, I think it was 14 or 15 people, so about half the people showed up, and then we did it for a couple more months, and then by the end of it, I only had 2 guys that would show up, Rylan and Caleb. Rylan was a good chess player. Like, he was one of the better guys in his own hometown as well, and we played, and he was a good chess player. I mean, I didn't find too many people that could beat me, except for Caleb eventually. He
Maybe
started
that's
out
why
pretty
everybody
green.
stopped showing up.
That, I think, it might be a very small reason, but I think it's just
Yeah.
because chess isn't that interesting over the long haul if you're not,
well,
picking it up quick enough.
if you're really dedicated, I
Yeah.
think it was one of those like, oh, there's a new club. Let's go check it out.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Caleb, on the other hand, though, like, if you ever listen to this, Caleb, like, you did great, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we kind of
You a
started
cool
at
kid.
like number 1 and like square one essentially, and like we just kind of worked up and played together for like the remainder of the time that I was there.
Yeah.
And by the end of the time that I was done at that or college, he beat me once.
Ooh.
I know. I wish there was people around a round of applause him because like we
Yeah.
played late. I think it was Thursday evening, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. Anyways, yeah, so I was pretty stoked. Not the hardest game that I've ever had though. There was like I was waiting for Caleb to show up one night, and this like totally random dude, just like maybe a maintenance man or just like
Yeah.
someone that was there late at night, just like
Yeah.
like I had the board all set up and I was just playing the game by myself, like or rather against myself, and
Yeah.
he's just like, hey, like who are you playing with? And I'm like, oh, I'm just playing with myself right now. And he's like, oh, so watches me for a second. He's like, are you waiting for anybody? I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to have a friend of mine coming by soon to come play me. He's like, oh, well, I gotta go do something, but if your friend's not back by the time I come back this way, like, I'll play a game of chess. And I was like, oh, fuck, well, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I sit there, play myself a game, beat myself, and anyways, this
Whoa.
guy shows up.
Wow.
Wow!
Can you
Another
lose
person
against
beat
yourself?
Elijah.
I would say I won and lost, but I won't accept the loss.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, when I play myself, I just stalemate myself every time.
Yeah.
No. So this guy shows back up, and I'm like, oh, okay. Looks like he's in his, maybe mid to late 40s, somewhere around there, anyways. And
Yeah.
so I set the board up, and we sat down, and we started playing, and then like my first opening move, I've never played anybody. I'll let you know right now. It's the 4-move checkmate.
Yeah.
If you don't recognize that, I immediately know that you're a novice player, and I know to not do the 4-move checkmate on
Yeah.
you, because then it's
Like you get a certain distance and the 4-move checkmate, and you're like,
Exactly.
oh, I should probably just
Yep. Yeah,
lay
you
back
get
a
to
little bit.
your second move, and if they haven't either advanced their horse up or moved out their kingside bishop's pawn forward 1, then
Yeah.
you know that they don't know the defensive mechanisms for the 4-move checkmate,
Yeah.
and then so you don't do it if you're playing somebody you don't want to crush.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I
Unless
do
you
this,
do.
and this guy immediately puts in the defensive, measures so that I don't immediately get checkmate, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Ooh.
I'm like, this guy knows
A
his
competitor
shit
has
here.
arrived.
That was exactly it. I felt like that. I was like, an actual competitor is here. Like,
Yeah.
holy fuck. Like, I did not expect this. And anyways, so we start playing, and boom, he's taking my pieces. He's like really pressing his advance. He's great on his defense when we're playing. I'm just totally shocked, and I find myself in a losing position.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I'm like, I should concede this game right now. And I was like, no, I'm gonna be stubborn about this. I'm gonna go until I can, until you have to stalemate me in a corner, kind of difficult. And anyways, I ended up getting him with this really cheeky move that I only invented on the spot, and I'm sure it's probably somewhere in a chess book or something, because all this stuff is down, right? But anyways, so I advance my pawn and onto the enemy's farthest side. I'm gonna get a queen, but he's already lined his rook up to come and take my queen as soon as I've gotten it.
Yeah.
But what I did was I placed my own rook. I slid it down into that square beforehand, so he either had to take my rook and my pawn would kill his, and then I'd get a queen regardless. Or I'd move my pawn down, get my queen, and then kill his rook, and I'd have the last rook on the board, which is essentially you've won the game.
Yeah.
Right? And so he fell for this little trap at the end of the game, and I took his rook and gained a queen, and I beat him in 2 more moves. Because it was that. He either beat me in 2 moves, or I beat him in 2 moves.
So it just all relied on what he did.
Yep, that was exactly it. If he'd recognized the trap, he would have beat me.
Yeah.
But I beat him, and I'm just sitting there. I was sweating. like, by this point, nobody had beaten me in my entire chess club run.
Yeah.
And there's just some random dude.
It's like, oh, hey.
Like, I was so shook. I went back and like I told my good friends Dylan and Casey about it, and I was just like, wow, this was really neat. Like, I got to experience something today.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I wish I could say that I made a club and all that other kind of stuff too.
Yeah, no,
but
I stayed in my dorm room.
Yeah.
I'm like the most outgoing of the 3 of us, though. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shania and I are both pretty hermits.
Yeah.
Even
unless I really go out, then I'm like, whoa.
Well, then you go out, yeah.
Even like before the pandemic, when we both went to university straight out of high school, Cole and I.
Yeah.
I just went to his dorm room and we just watched TV and hung out or did homework, and he'd make me pancakes because I didn't want to be alone in my awkward like 2-bedroom basement suite that was so far from TRU. They lied to me in the ad when they said it was close.
I was like, why are you going off campus? Like, just get a dorm room. Right?
Well,
like,
it was too late. By the time I thought I had a dorm room, but I don't know, there was this mix up, so I didn't. And all of a sudden I start in a week, and I was panicking to this lady that I had to talk to before school started, and she's like, oh, well, I have a friend that's renting out this, and I was like, cool, I'll take it, because otherwise I'm gonna be homeless.
Exactly.
Yeah, just room in my room, just sleep under the desk.
It does.
All will be good.
We'll get you a big dog mat, like one of those big ones that looks like it's a bed, but you're like, how is this for a dog?
Yeah. Anyways. Like, honestly though, some of those dog beds are so luscious,
and you see it's like $400.
Oh
like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't love my dog that
they
much.
They even make miniature versions of your couches.
Oh,
I've seen it for like little terriers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Get one.
Wow.
Bougie.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Yeah, good old university stories.
Good old university stories.
I think.
Yeah, we're almost getting close to our end of our podcast. So, would you guys like to share anything?
Randomly end it at some point as we're talking, like just exactly how we started it. We'll just end it and just keep talking. Don't even tell us that you've stopped it. Just okay, so let's just find another quick conversation. Like, is there anything else?
I didn't really have any cool university stories.
I have another one where I was drinking.
Let's go.
Yeah, all right, let's go with another drinking story.
Let's share some drinking stories, then we'll end it up like that.
So, I had one of my friends that I've known from when I was a kid. I went down and was like, hey, do you want to go around bars and just drink at every bar or something like that? Just go bar hopping pretty well. So I was like, all right, I'll meet you here and we'll just start going around. And we went to like 10 bars and like clubs and whatnot, all within like a couple of hours. Oh, literally, yeah.
What was that? All right, let's go get some more beer.
So yeah, in end, if you guys haven't seen my stream, I'm like a pretty big guy. So like I can drink a lot more than my friend who's a small guy.
Yeah.
So I was completely fine still, and I look over and I'm like, oh shit, he's just absolutely trashed. So I had to get him inside taxi and just send him home. I was like, hope everything goes well.
Yep, I hope this is a good taxi driver.
I asked him like 3 times and was like, you got money to pay him when you get home. I can pay him, right? I can pay him if you don't have money. Yeah. It's like, it was kind of like just carrying him around. I felt kind of bad. Yeah. At least from my recollection of memory. So after that, I sent him home, and then I was like, I want to go back to the Commodore in Kamloops, because that was like those, This Is the End? Like the one where they go the Golden Mile and they go like 9 pubs or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was like one of those pubs. Nice. That's what the Commodore was. Ooh. So I went back there, and they were having karaoke night. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get a Long Island iced tea. I was like, oh, I don't like Long Island iced teas. I drank it anyways.
Yep.
So I was just sitting there watching everyone sing karaoke.
Alcoholic iced tea.
Literally. It's just not my vibe.
Yep.
I was just chilling there, and then I just get this tap on the shoulder. It's like, who's tapping my shoulder?
Who's here?
Who's here? What's happening? So
where are
there's just this random girl that was like, hey, do you want to come and join us?
Hey.
I was like, oh, sure, okay. Yeah. So I go over, there's like a table of like 10 of them or something like that, and we just started talking randomly and just drinking together, having a nice time.
Yeah.
And somewhere it's like a good 10 15 minutes later, and it's like, oh yeah, we're just celebrating my wedding party. So nice. I was just randomly invited. Some guy was like, hey, do you want to come and celebrate with us? We're at our wedding party. So I was apart with them for like a good hour or so. I was like, oh, okay. So I just randomly got into a wedding party with them and spent the night.
Yeah, dude, that's the best. Just wild party with strangers.
Yeah, it was weird. I never had anything happen to me like that.
No? Man, it's the weirdest thing when that happens. It's so much fun though, like especially when it's like spontaneous. You haven't planned nothing.
Yeah, you just go out and be like, oh, and see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that I left, and if it was downtown Kamloops, and I was going to school at TRU, which is at the top of the hill, which is like, how many kilometers do you guys think? Like a good 2, 3?
Maybe 2 or 3 kilometers.
Yeah. And by the way, I was dressed up because, I wanted to dress up, kind of look nice-ish.
Yeah.
As nice as I can be. Yeah. So I was wearing my cowboy boots, and I had to walk all the way back home because I didn't want to get a taxi.
Oh no.
So I was like, I was pretty sloshed at the time, just walking up the hill, and was like, don't sit down, you'll pass out. Don't sit down, you'll pass out. Don't sit down, you'll pass out.
Oh no.
So I'm just like,
walking
all the way
up.
Oh
no, I would have I had to take the L. I had to pass out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't take that luxury. I'm a woman.
No,
yeah. Because like I was I don't know if it was just like I didn't want to take a taxi, or the taxis weren't running that late, because it's like 2, 3 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty late.
They should have been running, but
it probably was just me. Like I spent a lot of money tonight. I don't want to pay for a taxi for like $20.
Remembering all the 20s he was throwing up in the air at the strippers.
No, we actually surprisingly didn't go to the strippers.
What? Holy.
No. That was apparently over in like North Shore or somewhere, over by like Canadian Tire. I was like, too far. That's like
Canadian Tire.
Yeah, that's over by Canadian Tire.
Right on. We're winning.
Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhere in that general direction. Yeah. So yeah, I was like, I managed to make it home somewhere. Yeah. Somehow, I don't really remember how. I was just in bed and I was like,
God.
Yeah.
Those mornings are the worst.
Yeah. And like I'm a person who rarely drinks at all.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's like maybe once every half year.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I do that probably maybe once or twice a year.
Well, you guys know me when I'm drunk. I have
Well,
Yeah, but
plenty.
the
It's
listeners
really
don't.
hard
Yeah,
to pinpoint a really cool drinking story.
Well, just anything,
Yeah,
really.
anything.
It doesn't have to be like the bee's knees, like, oh yeah, we got so drunk and then we lost our friend Tony, and you know,
Exactly. You don't have to go
Not
into a
Tony.
huge monologue
And then one
about
of us
Tony
got
and where you lost him and when the
tattoos.
Sasquatch caught you.
oh yeah, the Sam scratches.
Yep. Cliffhangers.
Tune in next time.
Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Yeah, my drinking stories in university were lame because it was 2020, middle of pandemic. I just
Oh,
lived
yeah.
in my dorm room, and that's all I did. I tried to hang out with people, but with the program I was taking, it was kind of in the nursing program, so they were very strict
Yeah.
on going out and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just me in my dorm room. I went right across the street to a liquor store, got myself drinks, and then played, I don't know, Among Us or Sims all night.
Yeah.
Listening to
Well, that was
my-
when Among Us
listening to
was a
my-
big thing.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
that's when
Among Us
this guy's
was
toast
huge
and
then.
everyone was.
It just had me in its grip that
Yeah.
day.
Pandemic did great for
Yeah,
Dennis.
just
too,
like,
so-
we even made a Discord server, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, we did, didn't
It was a really fun game at the time.
we? Yeah.
Mm.
it was.
It definitely was.
I mean, what would the maximum people we had that one time? What was that?
It was like
14?
8.
Was it
Or-
8?
No.
I thought it was like, oh man.
It was
cat,
like a
get on
lot.
me. Ow, sheesh, get out of here.
Damn cat.
Anyways, yeah, man. Among Us, though. I still like
Yeah.
playing it every once in a while. Go jump on.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing it again
Yeah.
sometime, yeah.
Yeah, right. Just go stream it one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool. Get a bunch of people.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Jump on the. Yeah, we. I mean, I wonder if that Discord server is still active.
Yeah, it's still active unless you delete it. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I think that's how it goes.
Probably.
Wow.
Who created it?
I want to say one of you guys.
No, I didn't know how to work Discord then. I had no
no.
idea.
Probably Elijah.
Yeah, I probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've created a few just randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, might have been that one.
Yeah, because like I'm not admin because I was gonna delete it and I think I did try to delete it, but I'm not admin, so I can't delete it.
You're like, shit, get out of there. Get out of
Yeah.
my tabs.
Yeah, I wanted to leave it, but I'm just like I'll just leave it, chuck it in a group, forget
Yeah.
about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Good drinking stories. I feel like I have so many of just like Shania stories that I can share.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah. Maybe not from any college or university necessarily, but just
Oh, geez.
good general drinking stories. Like, what about the hot tub story, Shania?
Nervously. Oh,
just
you
panic.
wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Wouldn't I?
I don't know. It's a bit
Wouldn't.
inappropriate.
Yeah, but it's freaking hilarious, but only in hindsight.
I mean,
Ah.
I really hope nobody listens to this. Go for
who
it.
knows? I mean, we do get like a couple of good listeners in there.
Oh,
We do. There's a
Yeah.
couple of people that have listened to like these all the way through.
Oh yeah.
But if
I'm
like,
kinda
if this
surprised.
ever
Thank you
takes
for
off
listening,
and
by the
Cole
way.
gets famous, like super famous, some people are going to come back to these old
Oh
episodes.
yeah. Look, I'm not going to delete any of my videos.
Nope.
a good
No.
famous call.
Maybe that's
I mean, like, I'm not planning to. I'm just kind of doing this as a hobby. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not like I'm going to be famous
Okay,
by
well, we don't
2023.
name any names on here, so nobody.
And no
Obviously.
last names, I
no
guess.
last names.
Obviously.
Or you can just change it to whatever.
Yeah. change
And
names.
with stories like
Just
this,
like
I don't
Stephanie.
I won't
You
even
remember Stephanie?
necessarily name anyone. So Yeah,
Good old
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Yep, my brother Stephanie. so with that being said, if I give everyone aliases, well,
Mhm.
Sure.
sure. All right. Okay. So this one's a pretty funny one. So my spouse Shania here. So she takes me out one night because I'm not that big into partying at this point. You know, I was just kind of like I like going out and hanging out and having a few drinks.
I was
and
like
then-
fresh out of high school. I was into partying.
yeah,
Oh,
I
exactly.
drug
And
him
so-
everywhere.
So like I'd still bring like a 15 pack with me or whatever and drink probably either the whole thing or darn near close to it, right? And
Yeah.
anyways,
Just sipping.
Yeah, just sipping most of the night, right? And like this was my group of friends that they like to stay up until 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. So you kind of know you're fine to drink your 15 pack throughout the whole night, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm doing that. I'm sipping on my beer. I'm maybe 6 or 7 beers in by this point. I've been shooting pool and hanging out, and so I'm finally like, man, like where's my girlfriend? Like, holy smokes, she's nowhere to be seen,
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh. And so I'm kind of looking around. I'm like, man, I can't see my best friend or like my ex or like my other ex.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, huh. And my stalker wasn't in there either, which was weird. And so
Ex-stalker.
Yeah, my ex-stalker, sorry. And so I'm just like, huh, like, I wonder what's going on here. Like it's kind of just like a big sausage party right now.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I kind of meander about. I go out front, look around the sides, and then I hear some screaming coming from the back. I was like, oh, well, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And so, I go back in the house and go through the double doors because there's a deck in the back. And there's a hot tub that I know of as well. And so, I immediately go and look at the hot tub.
Yeah.
And there my current girlfriend is in the hot tub with my exes and my ex-stalker.
Yeah.
All naked in this hot tub. And so I just come out, and once I'm like a few beers in, right? And once I notice this, I'm just like, oh, Jesus.
Like, oh, God.
Someone shoot me. This is like the worst case scenario for a young, fine gentleman to come upon him,
Yeah.
So I'm just like I tried to like smooth talk it like this wasn't crazy awkward, and you guys were all just like, get out of here, come on, get out of here, don't get out of
You
here.
made some inappropriate comment where
I
like,
totally did.
you ruined it, get
I was
out
trying
of
to
here.
pass it off as
Yeah.
cool. I definitely am not cool like that. So I was just like, oh, what's the reason? So I was like, I'm gonna leave now because I was getting awkward, right? I'm just like that, right? It's no big deal. And anyway, so I'm like,
this is the
awkwardly-
first time that I really met all of your friends. This was the party.
Yeah,
it was
this is
for
it.
our friend. I don't know. I don't know.
I want to say it wasn't it Aiden's party?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was his birthday party,
Mhm.
and we were all there. Everybody was there.
Yeah, I remember when
Yeah.
I was going back
It
to
was
the
a
double
huge
doors.
rage.
Oh, I think that's the one that I missed.
I think
I didn't
so,
go
yeah.
to.
think
Yeah.
you
I was
missed
like,
that one,
nah,
yeah.
I don't want to.
That was such
Well,
a good
man,
one.
there's
Yeah.
so many people there. It was really, really fun though. Like we partied until I think 9
8
o'clock in the
a.m.
morning or
Yeah.
8 or 9
Oh,
a.m.
God.
And then
Yeah,
we
no,
all
I
passed
wouldn't like
out
that.
in that very house.
That was so rough. That house was so hot.
And Aiden left like big things of water beside our bed.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that saved me.
Yo, he was
Yeah.
always a party gentleman though.
Oh,
That
yeah.
dude, like as long
Yeah.
as you weren't aiming to get him super fucked up, then he was like a super party gentleman.
Yeah.
Or he just gets super smashed and be like crazy inappropriate, which was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Because like he's just one of those personalities that like I don't know. It makes more sense when you know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
You have to know him.
Yeah,
too.
you have to know
him.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
Uh.
but yeah, so like I'm awkwardly going back after the hot tub. Like I realized this. I got yelled at, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna get out of here. And I see one of my ex's, boyfriends, and his current still boyfriend, and he's like the very similar demeanor to myself, and we're both just like, oh geez, like once he realized what had happened, and like
Yeah.
I knew what happened, we're both just like, oh man, like, oh yikes, scoops, we gotta get out of here. And so we just like left and went and drank together, and
Yeah.
laughed about it or whatever, right? Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Anyways, that's a good one for you.
Yeah. No, that was like, wow. I was like, I wonder where this is going.
Yep.
And then like halfway through, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, that was a yikes moment for sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was hilarious though. That whole party was so much fun though.
Mm.
Jesus,
I don't know, man.
man, I think we did copious amounts of arm wrestling and
Arm wrestling.
so much arm wrestling.
What?
If you're unfamiliar with arm wrestling, it's placing your elbows on a table in a sitting position or standing, if that's your thing professionally, and clasping arms opposite from one another and using your brute force, body strength, and leverage to slam the other person's arm down on the table.
Yeah.
In a show of strength. And of course, as young men at the time that we were and still are,
Yeah.
it's an extremely fun thing to do when you get drunk.
Yeah. God, I wish I had the animation capabilities just to take everything literally of what he said and just like totally make it something weird. Like, all right,
That
we
would be
grasp
really cool.
arms and both of them just grab biceps and just trying to put each other's biceps on the table or something.
I will do all the sound effects for this.
Yeah.
The awkward grunting,
Yeah.
the pulling noises.
Yeah.
This is the classic.
Oh, yes.
Yes, of course.
Alrighty, well, we'll end this here. Thank you for joining us at the Shenanigans podcast.
Hey.
It is I, Cole.
Shania.
And Elijah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye-bye.